Hello, friends. It's one more banner time in a week. So that's a lot of banners in like 8 days. So today we have the Snow White Minstrel Kaguya Crusher dual banner. We should have seen these a little bit ago, kind of roughly, but whatever. So I will point out there have been pretty substantial changes to these two weapons in global. So we'll go over the class for each first and then the weapon subsequently. So let's do it. So you've got Snow White Minstrel first. Decent stats. It's 100 each for each stat. So for a Minstrel, that's pretty decent. It's not great. Good enough. The HP's whatever. She kind of naked, though. So, you know, that's it. She's sort of wandering around in underwear. But I guess it's no worse than her Gran outfit, so, you know, that's pretty wild. So, her Violin of Justice. In Japan, it was Support Boon 1. In Global, it is Support Boon 2, which is kind of crazy. So, Hero's Rhapsody, it's double magic, or double attack to one person, physical and magic, with Support Boon 2, which is pretty strong. I will probably end up pitying this one. It's too good. Like, the stats are very mediocre, and I don't think it's a step up. I will have to double check. But overall, the banner itself is pretty strong. Like, if you didn't do the Grand Pulls, or a Crusher or a Minstrel, these are both decent enough weapons. So, honestly, since I think this is the last banner for November, or possibly the first banner for December, let me see if they've even tied it in. It's always weird how that works. You never quite know how they're doing it. I don't know. These are 12s. So you have all of December to pity these if you really want, which is probably fine. Not too big of a problem. Alright, so, being that these are in December, we do have New Year's coming out roughly the end of the month, and we may even have some Christmas units. So, I don't know if I can tell people to pull on these in general, but we'll go through the rest of it. Kaguya Crusher! Although having 2 stats on the banner is pretty good. So with the Arcana, so normally this is 300 physical attack and 100 physical defense. With the Arcana, it is 700 physical attack. So if you are still rocking the, Crusher, this is pretty good. Her model's also kind of weirdly punk rock in this one. Like, it's very interesting. The leg wraps and the armor are definitely a little weird. But it's cool. It's cool. So let's go to the Flail of Masochism. So it's Lightning Onslaught 3. Deals great damage to 1 to 2 enemies. Decreases their physical attack by a small amount. Mediocre. The ability isn't crazy good, although it's a decent wind hammer, which we have not had a whole ton of, if I remember correctly. Somebody, I'm sure, will tell me I'm wrong. But it has Dauntless Courage 2, which, again, different from the Japanese version. The Japanese version only had Dauntless Courage 1. So, overall, pretty strong design. 5,100 stats at 80. The Violin has 5,000, so they are slightly, like, incrementally below curve at the 5,200 mark right now. And even MLB, they're not cracking close to 7K, but decent enough. Like, they're still doing pretty good. There's also an orb on the banner, which I'm not talking about because it is nothing special. But we do have Odio, which is the Black Song of the Black Lily. This is the
staff turnoff. So I have mixed feelings about this one. So as opposed to the tome and minstrel one, which are just buffs, this stops the effectiveness of healing. I don't know what the rates are off the top of my head, but if it's anything like the other ones, it's like 40 to 45% or something like that. I will have to double check the math just to make sure. But I think there is more of a benefit to turning off healing skills than support skills. Healing skills can sort of let you... I don't know what point in the game it would be usable, probably earlier, but I think there are niche uses for it when you're just trying to down them. So if they're trying to do like a Dryas strat or something like that, it might just be easier to just pump damage into them. But I don't know. I haven't really talked with any of the other content creators or Ellie or anybody to really kind of goof around and figure out what the use of this one is. I feel like it has a bit more use than the other two currently, though, as healing is kind of a key factor in, you know, staying alive and doing your thing. So this is the first banner for the December medals. Should you pull... I'm leaning towards no. The only reason I say this is because we've got all of the Christmas and New Year stuff coming. And that's really my only, like, hesitation. We got this banner immediately after another banner, so I'm always particularly cautious when they're slamming 3 to 4 to 5 banners out. Because I guarantee you we'll have another banner either Wednesday or Thursday. Just throwing that out there. We've got like 5 banners active now, which is not a lot for JP. Like there are some times in JP where they will have 7 or 8 banners up, depending on the time of year. Especially once you start getting into recycle banners and reroll banners and all of these. And event banners coming back up. So, I don't know. I like the weapon a lot. We have a couple versions of it, although I don't think necessarily this strong. The hammer is very good, but I don't know if it's worth kind of going deep on, which I guess is, you know, the overall concern. It is not a step banner, so the value is a little lower than I would really hope for. I don't know. I feel weird about it. And obviously the nightmare is... I don't normally even go over the nightmare, nor tell you guys to consider it. This one is just a kind of an interesting one. The armored giant one I'm actually doing a video on, so I don't really feel too obligated to cover that one after it's been out. But that's a wild-ass nightmare, so I don't know. I don't think Odio is going to be as useful yet. Possibly when the half nightmare comes out, but possibly now. I'll have to have that conversation. So, if you're free to play, I would say start waiting for the end of year rewards and start kind of goofing on those banners, just because they tend to have a little more going on. And it's possible we could start seeing multiple step banners at the end of the year. So I would say hold, and if you get enough medals to pity one of these weapons, unless something else crazy comes out. And that's always sort of the gamble, too, so I understand that. But unless you've got like an excess of crystals and you want to throw a couple down the hole, I definitely wouldn't go deep on this banner, but if you end up getting what you're looking for in a couple, you're doing all right. So that's pretty much it. I would be wary of this banner unless you are swimming in crystals. So that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me how you're doing. How's your season showing up? You looking forward to the Christmas?